Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome to a quick craft. This one goes out for all the wargamers and miniature enthusiasts, always on the hunt for the next scrap or piece of terrain or a vehicle or anything. You never know when you're out shopping. You might see something. Maybe you're at the swap meet or the mall or a toy store, and you see, like, for example, like a Hot Wheel. And this idea actually was James L. You guys are familiar with him, a good friend of mine. It was his idea, and I want to give him all the credit for this. I would have never thought of this, but I'm always looking for stuff. But I always have to second guess or just guess if like say you see a Hot Wheel, you're like, wonder if that's the right scale for such and such game. Is it too big? Is it too small? Well, with one of these and a little bit of foam padding or bubble wrap or whatever, however you want to do it, you can make a little box. Well, you're not going to make the box, but you can make something that you can take with you that doesn't take up a lot of room and that will keep the miniatures that you put inside it nice and safe, so you can use them as a scale reference. I believe this is probably a 28, even though it's an old archive miniature. I believe it. Yeah, it is an old archive zombie or something like that. But because it's in this pose, you want to get a pose. See, something like this is going to be a pain in the ass because of the way the weapon is, etc. You know, if you could actually find like just a dolly or a miniature standing up, you know, like a mannequin or something, that'd be great. But this is the closest I could find, just a cool little old archive mini. And I found some foam that, sure enough, has a couple cubbies in it. It was actually part of this thing, and I was going to use this anyways for holding miniatures, but I cut it up, made it fit. You could just take foam and cut it in. And I took a little bit of bubble wrap to put on the bottom because I don't want it too thick, because I do need as much space as I can get. And I'm just going to throw a little super glue at the bottom of the case here. Watch, I'll show you. Just slather it in, and not too much. Just a little bit of super glue in there, and a little bubble wrap cut to the right shape with the bubbles facing up, so that it'll actually stick to the bottom flat surface of the bubble wrap at the bottom of the container. There you go. Boom. Right? I would even recommend this for all your EDC kits, which we are going to do a couple of more of these. This is actually going to be like EDC #1. Eventually you'll have a full bandolier of Altoid tins with all kinds of stuff, and you look like a total dork. But who doesn't love the idea of wearing a bandolier in today's day and age? And then I didn't do the greatest trimming job because I needed a longer blade, and this was all I could find. You just slip that in there, boom, 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 and what do you know? It fits in there. And since I play a bunch of different scale games, I play 28mm, I play 25. I didn't grab any 25s because those are all not really gonna get used, although I might have one. I could put her in there. She's not too, but since she's a she's probably less than ideal size. Let's see, would this Vader dude work? Yeah, but see, even with the lightsaber, this is actually a Sorcerer Lord. Probably nobody's seen one of these in freaking decades. It's such a cool mini. Both of those are Galactic minis, Galactic 25 or Galactic 3, depending on, you know, where you are. Great old game. We'll talk about that later. But as you can see, this guy now fits in there, and he's not going to rattle around. He's not going to get damaged, right? And then I just took a little piece of foam, and I'm going to put one piece in there to cover him up, so he doesn't get rattled and damaged. Boom, boom, boom. Cool, right? But then I put this little spacer in here so that I can put in a couple of 12 millimeter miniatures. Let's see if I can find one that's not going to get too damaged because he's got a sword or something like that. Here we go. Perfect. Little 12 millimeter mini. I can throw him in there. Use the divider to space it and just get him snug in there. And then I could actually go ahead and we'll take the 25. We'll throw. Oh, you know what? I got one of these. These are Diamond Desert. This is actually a 25 millimeter Android also from Galacta, but I can throw him in there. Boom, boom, boom. Another little piece of foam to make sure he doesn't rattle around too much. Close it up. Nothing's moved. It rattles a little, but that's because of the bubble wrap. If you could find some thin foam like this is actually a cutoff from what I was working with. You could get it to, shake a little bit less. You could throw some rubber bands around here. I'd also recommend, if you have one of those cloth or paper tape measures, that might not be a bad thing to stuff in here for more measuring, just in case you need to measure, the vehicle itself to see if it fit in the terrain, how big it is, etc. Or any other piece of terrain. Definitely something with centimeters and millimeters on it, but inches would work too, depending on the game. But definitely a nice, you'd only need about, that much of a tape measure. You could even make one yourself out of a piece of cardboard or index card, and you could also take a piece of index card, fold it up, throw it in there with your list of what you're looking for. Maybe you're looking for cars, maybe you're looking for trees, maybe you're looking for wall pieces or doors or something like that. Doors is actually something I have to measure a lot. Doors and windows, because if the miniature doesn't look like it'll go in, it looks out of place. People have to duck in and out to get in and out of your building, because there's a lot of toys and things like that I see for like Polly Pockets and things like that, especially a couple of lines of things they have at the dollar store, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, etc. That someone showed me. It's like only the front of a house, but if you took two of them, put them together with a little work, you could just use them as houses for your battlefield or your city street or what have you. You can't go inside it or do any of that kind of stuff, but it still makes for a nice little cottage, but we can go into that later. But the idea is to be able to pull out a miniature and see if the thing you're looking at the swap meet, at the toy store, at the grocery store or the mall or whatever, yard sales are another great place to pick up stuff, but you see the thing and you're like, is it to scale? Will it work? Am I going to have to modify it? You pull out Mr. Miniature here, this guy, and you can scale it and get a good reference point. It's like, is this guy, does it look good? Is this miniature and it work? And James, thanks. This is a cool idea. I'm going to carry this around with me as is from now on. It'll be in my vest pocket whenever I go somewhere where I might see something, especially since I do most of my shopping on the weekend. That means yard sales, garage sales, flea markets, things like that. And a lot of opportunities I passed because I just wasn't sure. Was it too big? Was it too small? Is there going to be a lot of work? Well, now you know. And that's what I've got for you this morning. We'll do some more EDC kits. I'm going to get some of the bigger Altoid tins, but this one was perfect because you just don't, as you can see, you don't really need much. But this will really keep the mini from getting crushed. You can even put plastic minis in here if you work with plastic. As you can see, there's a mixture of both. But whatever it is you're gaming with, now you can have these, with you. I mean, sure, you could just take a little folded up, piece of card with measurements on it, but this gives you a little bit more feel. And you never know, you pull this out and you got a miniature and you're like fiddling with it, see if it matches, etc. You might see someone might see you and go, "You're a gamer? Hey, I'm a gamer too. I live down the street, blah blah blah." And of course I'm going to put some cool stickers on here as well. I don't know what yet, but you throw some cool stickers on it as well, like you put 40K on here or something, and you never know when you might meet someone who might turn into a friend or an opponent at the table. Either way, thank you, James. Great idea. I'll have more for you guys later, and I will be back in about 45 minutes for the Wednesday edition of Second Breath. Wait, Thursday, excuse me. Wow, getting ahead of my time warp, whatever. I will see you tomorrow. Second Breakfast, Thursday edition. Have a great evening, great afternoon, great morning, whenever you see this. Love you guys, and as always, happy trails.